away from switching to the redundant sense sequencer. T-minus 27 seconds. We have gone for redundant set sequencer start. T-minus 20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15, 14, 13, T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll.
Let me tell you something, kid. Everybody gets one chance to do something great.
And that's how it all began. Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. My name's Larry. My call sign's K7HN. Welcome to Ham Radio Live. Please hit subscribe. We don't monetize. You're going to see a single ad here to have to wait for that stupid 5-second countdown before you want to watch the rest of the show. Not here. Nope. We just ask that you subscribe. It helps people find the channel that might have an interest in ham radio or find out about some pretty cool products. Today's going to be one of those shows. The only one on YouTube yet to do it. In fact, we're the first one to do it. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Straight up, FTDX 10 versus FTDX 101. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Sorry we're a little late today. This was quite a show to set up and produce. Literally, if you could see behind me the camera angles that have to be set to do these two radios, you'd be surprised because it really is an undertaking to show two radios. Now, I'll explain how everything goes. First of all, I do want to say hello to a good friend, Glenn, in VK land. Hello to my dear friend, Glenn Stevenson in Australia. Thanks for being here, Glenn. It's a pleasure. Thank you for coming. Yep, today is Tuesday, February the 9th, 2021, and we're really excited to bring a very special show today. Yaseu in December released the FTDX 10, which basically came out like a small version of the FTDX 101. Later on, Rob Sherwood reviewed it, and it came in number 3 on his list. Yaseu 101, number 1. So FTDX 101 was number 1. And then the FTDX 10 by Yaseu, number 3. Now, I'm going to just say a disclaimer right up front. This is especially for young hams or people who would like to get into ham radio. The Sherwood report is good to look at. It's, good to look at for IMD numbers and, dynamic range and all of that. But it doesn't define a great receiver. It doesn't. If you had the top 30 on that list, you would be thrilled. You'd be absolutely thrilled. And those receivers would probably pick up the same exact signals as the number 1 receiver would. That's just the truth. I think that sometimes we can make a lot out of receiver lists. And really what it comes down to is you getting a chance to go into either a ham radio store or possibly a friend who has a radio that you can work the transceiver, see how you like it. Because that's really the best part of doing ham radio, enjoying what you're doing. Because when you enjoy what you're doing, right, you're going to enjoy the radio. So for that reason, I want to show you just how close the FTDX 10 and 101 really are, but also do it in a way that hopes to help explain some questions you might have, because this is the first YouTube video that will show both of these transceivers at the very same time. Now, I'm using the same antenna for both, so I'm just running an antenna switch. So beyond going around this camera tripod, I need to reach over and flip the antenna switch so that we can fire up each transceiver's antenna. So they're going to hear the same signals through the same antenna. The antenna we're using today is the MFJ product. It's the high gain AV680 vertical, and it's a fantastic vertical. Easy to build. Build it in the afternoon if you want to. Now, when you're looking at a Yaesu FTDX 101, all right, you're looking at a transceiver that has 59 buttons, 9 knobs. Okay, now that includes the power button. It also includes the volume, okay, and VFO. So 59 buttons and 9 knobs. All right, so when you're taking a look then, and I'm going to have to hold this because I only have so many cameras. I only have so many cameras here to be able to show you, you know, what things are here. So when you're looking at the FTDX 10, there it is. You have 22 buttons and 5 knobs. And the radio really kind of does the same thing. Okay, so they're basically identical in receiver performance, but less real estate, right? Now you can see me holding the camera. Okay, that's how I have to do the show. That's why I was late. I was trying to figure out, okay, how can I logically show folks how this is going to be done by having both transceivers, one of them very large, one of them small, multiple camera angles with lighting issues and all that. And so I'll do my best, okay? I'm going to just do my best to show you how they work together and how similar they are, okay? Stu, it's very nice to see you. Thank you for coming today from the UK. Welcome, my dear friend. Thank you. Thank you. I see Thor's in the house all the way from Minnesota. Short timer today, probably at work. Thor, his call sign, Kilo 0 Tango Juliet Tango. It's great to see you. Thanks for being here, Thor, and thanks for the email. It's nice to hear from you. All right, so we have one transceiver we can show you directly on the feed. That's going to be the FTDX 10. So many people are interested in this transceiver, so I had a choice. I could either run the FTDX 101 straight into the YouTube feed, or I could run the FTDX 10. I chose the 10. Now, notice there's no waterfall. Well, the reason for that is simply because the antenna is just not hooked up to it. Okay, that's what's going on. So I have to turn the antenna switch on to be able to show you the FTDX 10 in action, and we'll do that. Okay, first, let's get to the 101. All right, the 101 is a plethora of controls. Okay, starting really from the very top left, you have a control power button, which is way over here. Okay, so you got a power button way over here, and then you've got 2 USB ports right there. It's where your wireless mouse can be hooked up, okay? It's where you can put your USB connectivity. It's right up front. Okay, you've got your key paddle and your headphones right there. All right. And then you've got multiple control buttons down here for various things from auto tuner on board all the way to the main function screen right there, which gives you pretty much all of your functionality for the transceiver. It's where the FPGA is located, where it tells the radio what to do. Okay, most of everything you're going to do is on the right side of the 101. Just about everything, okay? From the mode you want to work, which is essentially what type of modulation. Say, for example, when you press this button, you have a chance to change your modes, right? Your mode is going to change every time you press this button. And there are the modes, of course, from lower sideband all the way to PSK31. No, it's not rendering well with photos, but you got to believe me, it's hard with the camera angles and the lighting and 2 different transceivers. There you go. So it shows all the modes. What's different about this compared to the FTDX 10 is there's no timer. There's no timer for you to pick something. That's one flaw that I've heard from other people, and I believe is true with the FTDX 10. Once you press a button, like say, for example, the band button, you only have 3 seconds to make your selection. Only 3. So you better hurry, and hopefully your thumbs or your fingers, are going to be thin enough that you can hit the right frequency on the screen. That's why mouse control is really helpful to have on either the 10 or the 101, but especially on the 10. 3 seconds is what you have to select your band. Let me show you real quick. We'll go right to the direct view of the 10, okay? I'm going to press the band button and watch how long this literally is on the screen. That's it. That's literally all. Same thing with DNR. If you're going to adjust your digital noise reduction, hold it in, it's going to now come off. And when I press the adjustment knob, the function knob to adjust it, Okay, it's not going to adjust the DNR now. Instead, it's going to adjust the last thing I picked, which was essentially the waterfall control to adjust how many dB is coming into the front end for that waterfall so you can show signals. All right, now if I hold this in again and go to it quickly, watch what the same function knob does. Now see, it adjusts the DNR, but you've got to be fast. That's the thing about the 101 and the 10 difference I think is really big. On the FTDX 10, you need to be fast if you're going to make a selection like the band, or if you're going to make an adjustment like DNR or noise blanker. Those are things you're going to have to move quickly on. Now, Yaseu could put together a firmware update for that to change it so that, like the 101, you have an unlimited amount of time to make your selection or adjustments. We'll have to wait and see. But let's take a look, and I do want to answer your questions during this video because it is special. This is the first one to hit YouTube that has both the FTDX 10 and the 101 together in the same video. Okay, so let's take a look at the buttons here quickly on the 101. I want to focus more on the 10, however. From the mode button, you have your sideband adjustability here, upper or lower, plus data here. You've got your Morse code. You've got a break-in here. You've got your monitor adjustment right there if you want to hear yourself through the headphones as you're transmitting. You can adjust the VFO speed here and here. You can either fast turn or lock it. You have your adjustment here for your volume. This is for your main receiver. Your sub receivers here, same thing. The outer ring is going to be for RF gain. That's this ring right here. So the inner ring here is going to be for RF gain. The outer one, the one that protrudes out, is going to be for your adjustment, for your volume. Okay. Up here now, you've got your clarifier for both your receive and transmit side, and you can sync everything from up here when you're running split. Okay. When you come over to the other side, that's where a lot of your DSP tools are on the 10, so on the 101. All right. And this is where menus are strong in the 10. This is where you're going to have to use more menu control, okay? From both receivers, noise blanker, digital noise reduction, and digital noise filtering. Then over here, you have your notch, your contour, and your automatic band pass filter, your auto pass filter. So that's how it works with both transceivers. Again, you've got two receivers, so you've got multiple redundant controls here for each one. Up at the top, you have your mic speed and processor, your mic gain and processor here. And then if you're on Morse code, here's where you're going to adjust for your keyer, okay, or your pitch of your CW paddle or your CW key. That's how that works. Okay, getting back now to the 10. The 10, remember, it only has a total of 22 buttons. Seems like a lot on a small radio, and it is. But the problem with the 10 can be the actual location of those knobs and buttons. The buttons around the VFO are pretty close. That's why mouse control is so important. Logitech makes a 310 series mouse that you can get Amazon. I paid, I think, $11, which included shipping for mine. I chose red. You can pick blue, black, or whatever other color, but they're readily available, okay? When you get to the 10, all right, let me try and get you back up here to the 10. All right, and see, the problem is if I set this camera down, here's where I ran into a problem, why we were so late. If I put the camera down, you see, I put it down, and I only can show you part of the transceiver because I can only push this thing back so far where I'm at. Although that's a wonderful side of the mode and side of the VFO to show you. Okay, on the on the 10, the outer ring of the VFO right here. Okay, it's it feels good. It feels like it's plastic, to be honest. It's probably a very light aluminum, but what's nice is this knurled rubber edge, very controllable, simple to turn. It's very nice. I like this. This was a good design cue from Yaseu. I like it. Outer VFO knob is plastic. Feels like it is. Now it might be metal. This is metal, but it's very, very light. Not as weighty as the 101 is. It's light, but it's a small radio. So again, it is metal. You've got a rubber knurled edge, and the controllability for the speed of the VFO is right down here. there's a small little lever down here that you can pull one way or the other to adjust the tension of the VFO. All right. So a lot of controllability on the 10 is right here. It's on the notch and contour right there. Those are huge on this transceiver because they help you tremendously with digital noise filtering. Okay, your digital signal processing is really strong here on your contour. It really makes a huge difference, especially when you combine it right here with your DNR. Those two it's like a handshake almost, using those two together, because you can help to work a signal in by using them together. Again, you use them in combination because it gives you the chance to be able to make a weak signal come up with the contour feature, all right? The DNR there to bring the hash out. So that's how both radios work. We're going to listen to some weak signals today on both to let you hear what they sound like. However, because I can only put the sound input from one transceiver onto YouTube with the equipment I have, you're going to have to hear it through the microphone. I'd like to make it as loud as I can for you to hear it, and we'll do our best to produce a good show today. This is a challenging one. Of all the ones I've done, this is the most challenging. It requires the most cameras. In fact, my computer's maxed out with cameras, and literally we'll do the best we can to bring you a solid show, showing the 101 versus the FTDX 10, and I believe you're going to find them to be pretty much identical. Let's take a look at your comments quickly as we bounce back up the screen. Nikolai in Romania is here. It's good to see you. Congratulations, by the way, on getting your new call sign. That's great. That's great, Nikolai. Really happy for you, man. Really, really happy. Travis Smith, nice comment. Travis, welcome to the show. FT891 drives me crazy when selecting mode and band. It's been a while since I got to see a live feed. Bless your heart. It's nice to see you back, Travis. We've missed you. Thank you for coming back. I know it's not easy to make every show, but it's nice when you're here. Thanks, Travis. Okay. Ed Lee is here. Ed, nice to see you again. Ed's call sign is Kilo Oscar 4, Lima Kilo Kilo. Good afternoon to you too as well. It's nice to see you. Toby is here from Germany. Toby, welcome. He's here. He's Delta Oscar 1, Tango Oscar Bravo. Good to see you. Andy, what a pleasure. You know, Andy, you're the best. 2 Echo 0, Radio Echo Echo. Andy, always a pleasure. Bergs is here from Sweden as well. Bergs, I've missed you. It's good to see you back. Thanks for coming. Wanted to redo the show. I didn't like the way it turned out last night. It was brutal to watch, and boy, that was one of the fastest deletes I've ever had. So we'll go. Review of FTDX 10 tonight again. No, this is actually a comparison between the 101 and the 10 to show you what they are. Papa Delta 9, Radio Delta in the house. Good evening, Larry. You're at 59 plus into the Netherlands. Roger, I think we have a signal, and yep, we'll go ahead and do that one. Thank you, my friend.
Get that finger out of your ear. You don't know where that finger's been.
Thanks, my friend. It's good to know I got a good signal there. Hi, Ward. Good to see you all the way in Southern California. The guy that helped put this together. Really, because it's hard. It's almost impossible to find the Yaesu 101D anywhere because people are sold out of them right now. It's amazing finding supply and demand for these radios. So Ward, let me just put this back on the screen really fast for you because, boy, you earned it. You did. Thank you very, very much for the work that you did to help me get this transceiver. And I mean that. Thank you. Because literally, Ward was the guy who said, hey, I've got a friend who I think I can help get you this rig. And thankfully, come on, camera, wake up. See, this is why it's going to be production. Hi, everybody. Hand, focus in, and there's the radio. Okay, so sorry about the focus. We're having a little bit of an issue here. But, Ward, thank you. Without your help, that would have been tough. Thank you very much. Okay, and we're dropping cameras now. It was bound to happen. There are cords everywhere. There's like one camera here, one here, one here, one there, and the antenna switch there. Whew, this should be an interesting show, everybody. Okay, let's take a look first at the rig. Here we are on the 10. We're on 40 meters. I checked the frequencies, and pretty much everything is strong on 40, so it's better to try and find a weak signal there if we can. At least I think so. All right. So let's go here. Hopefully we can get some focus in on this thing because right now it's just awful. So we'll try and get some better focus. Come on, wake up. Come on, camera. You can do it, little buddy. We're good friends. We've been friends for years, right? Come on. Best camera I have. You're not going to do this to me today, are you? And keep focusing. Wow, this is terrible. I'm so sorry, my friends. I really am. Well, that's not going to work. For some reason, there it goes. Okay, I was waiting for it to finally click in and, figure out what it was doing. That was nice. Okay, brilliant. Closer view. There you go. All right. So let's first listen in on the 101. We're going to listen in for a signal, and we're going to do our best to try and find a weak one. And then we'll listen to it in comparison to running it with the FTDX 10, because it gives you a good idea then of just how well these two receivers work, okay? And again, coming through the mic, please forgive me. It's the best I can do for you. We got someone that was here. Hang on. Let's move this back to where we were because we got a signal here as well. Okay. Now, take a look here. I'm going to try and get my face as close as I can. Literally, this is amazing because if you take a look at me now, this is me doing this show. Just to give you an idea, there I am, just to try and produce the show for you. So bear with me. I'm doing the best I can. All right. There's the 101. Here's the signal. You can see it coming in. It's set correct for RF gain. Let's listen and we'll move it back to the 10. Put a little DNR in. Okay, now we're going to adjust the contour. This is a big deal on this radio. It works like the 10. Okay, see? We brought him up. You couldn't hear him before. But now you can. That's how working the DNR plus the contour helps you on the 101. The 10 is precisely the same way. Let's take the same signal and we're going to try it the exact same way using the FTDX 10. You're going to have a better view though, and I won't have to be a circus contortionist because I can actually just have it on the screen. You'll hear the sound coming from the microphone, but you'll see a direct feed from YouTube. So here is the 10. I'm going to hook the antenna switch and flip it over to the 10 so you can hear the same signal. We're going to switch it down to the same frequency, which is 7.190, and then we'll give it a listen. We'll make sure we can tune this in the same way. Just one moment. Let me flip the antenna. This is just literally flipping the switch so that we have this antenna firing through the to the FTDX 10. So I've just flipped the antenna switch from the high gain AV680 vertical coming into the FTDX 101, switched it over to the FTDX 10. So same signal. Here we go. And there he is. There he is. Now, take a look. The S meter, okay? The S meter is basically, there's lots of noise. There's a noise floor right now of about S4 to S5. So he's really not deflecting the S meter whatsoever. He just isn't. The FTDX 10 and the FTDX 101, work very similarly in terms of how you use them, all right? When you're using either radio, now I can get comfortable. When you use either radio, the nice thing about them is if you understand the DNR and the way the contour works, you'll be able to do some pretty cool things. But I want to show you a little bit more. I've done this a little bit, but not quite effectively enough. I don't think I've done a good justice to it about the contour on the FTDX 10. It works like the 101, so just understand both receivers are essentially the same. They really are. There's no difference, in my opinion, between these two. Weak signal, strong signal, parsing out signals with the notch and removing a carrier or signal you don't want. They work the same. They're very effective at doing the same thing. It's just that one has a ton of buttons and knobs on it, is a lot heavier and bigger, and the other one is much lighter and smaller. The FTDX 10 is about 1 inch longer, meaning in the front panel is longer than the Yaseu 991 Alpha, and it's about an inch higher, okay? Compared to the ICOM 7300, it's 3/4 of an inch difference in length, and the weight is about 3/10 of a pound more. The screen, 7/10 of an inch larger on the FTDX 10 versus the 7300. Now, let me look real quick at the rig. I want to show you the contour because this is really important. Again, weak signal. And what I'm going to do, hang on a second. Sorry guys, hold on. Oh boy. Sorry it took so long. That was literally going and fishing out the speaker input from the back of where the 101 was, pulling out that speaker input for the YouTube feed, putting into the back of the FTDX 10. So now you're going to see the FTDX 10 and hear it together, okay? Not from a microphone, but hear it, because this segment's way too important. Let's go back to the 10. Let's listen to it real carefully, and let me show you the adjustability of how you use the contour, because this is really important. First thing you need to do is you need to go into your menus, okay? Your menus go in your operation setting. Here's your contour. You change both the contour level, the contour width, okay? The width adjustment is right here. Look what you can do with the width. Let's say we bring it up. I'm missing my mouse right now because it's hooked up to the, hold on a second. No, can't do it. I'm not going to pull the radio out. So if we go to 11, or you can go on a width, let's say 3. Let's just for fun, let's go to 3, okay? And now let's listen. And we're going to just find a signal. We'll tune to it. Sorry, locked it. And I will get your comments, okay? Give me a moment to do that. Okay, Let's pull off the contour. And we got some noise, right? Noise blanker. Pulled some hash out. Now listen what the contour does. We've pulled the contour down in terms of its bandwidth. Listen. Adjust the contour level. See? Now, what if we increase it back to where it was? Let's find out. Factory setting is 10. Again, factory settings will always show up in yellow. But let's do the contour. Let's listen how it changes when we move it around. Listen to the signal. See, he's gone. He's basically gone now. And now take a look at the screen. You see a bump where the contour is. If you take a look right above 72, and then below the second VFO, you'll see a bump, an orange bump in the bandpass. That's because we've bumped up the contour. If we decrease it to hear the signal better, listen to how it works. Now we hear the second guy, the guy he's talking to. There you go. So when you're using the FTDX 10, it's important to know what the few buttons it has. And keep in mind, again, the 101 we talked about has a plethora of buttons and control. If you like control of a transceiver, like, say, for example, the 5000, okay, it's going to remind you of that because it has all that controllability like the 5000, but instead of it being a superhet, it's going to be a hybrid SDR. 9 megahertz incoming. The intermediate frequency coming in is set at 9 megahertz. From there, goes to the A to D converter, goes through the field programmable gate array, and that tells the radio how to do everything. But how you control the radio doing the FPGA is through here. When you hit the function key, all those settings below, those blue ones, that's the FPGA. That's how you adjust it in this transceiver. See, we're used to superhets. Superhets are easy because we buy roofing filters, right? And we can adjust them out. We know now instead of having a 2.7 SSB, now we've got a 2.1. So we can parse it down to 2.1 and make it sound cleaner. With an SDR, you have infinite adjustability to be able to bring down that bandpass and help it come in better. That's where SDRs are so brilliant. And that's why so many manufacturers are going to them, beside the fact they're cheaper. Okay, so on the FTDX 10, that's something that will help you learn to use the digital noise reduction as well as the contour and what it does. Because once you use it and you have that signal you're having a hard time getting, if you work carefully with it, you'll bring in some pretty good signals. Let's look at your comments. And I appreciate you all coming. Thank you so much today. It was late. I'm sorry we were late. It literally was putting all these cameras together, getting them focused, taking lights off, turning lights on. It was really a chore to do the show. But it is the 101 and it is the 10 together, and it does show them working the same. They do the same thing, the same signals. And I'll tell you a little trick. You know what? If I had an ICOM 7300 here, or if I had a Kenwood 590 SG, or maybe a Flex 6300, I would hear the same signals. I would just use different methods to bring them in better. That's the whole point. Radios are radios, but they use different methods to work. You just get used to the operating system that the radio uses, whether it's a superhet or an SDR, and you get comfortable with it. You like it. It's something you know. You stay with it. That's the important part. It doesn't mean that this radio is better than any others. It just means that's how it works, okay? Comments. Good to see you guys, by the way. Robert, hello. Whoa, what a treat it is to see you, Robert. Thank you. I mean that. Thank you. Ward, thanks, buddy. Yep. We call this our Disneyland 101 because it literally came from the HRO store right by close to Disneyland, right, Ward? Isn't it fairly close? You were saying 4 or 5 miles, something like that. My brother's a huge Disneyland guy, so for him, it was kind of a big deal because he knew it came from near Disneyland. One of those things. Andy, hello there. On 70 is off on 7.149, talking to VK. All right. Fred's here from Washington State. Hi, Fred. Good afternoon. I hope you're doing well up north today. Looks like some cold weather's coming our way. Tom is here, Bahrain. Good to see you in the house today. Cheers to you, Tom, as always. Thank you. Thank you very much. John is here. John, what a pleasure to see you. Thank you for joining the show. If you have any questions, folks, regarding the 101 and the 10, now's the time because literally yours truly, besides the barking dogs downstairs, is going to be taking the 10 downstairs to use for my zero gravity chair. I'm going to do a show from there, by the way. I really am. I'm excited to share with you what it's like to finally use a radio in comfort because yours truly, because of my back, is really in pain a lot. So I sit down and I just get really uncomfortable because it takes so much out of me to make the shows. It just does. It's more than what you see here when I sit here. There's a lot of pre-production work that goes into making the sign-offs and the sign-ons and then all the elements of the camera angles and the lighting and making sure it works. There's work to do here and it's live. So if mistakes are made, that could be a real big deal because those mistakes can really be caught like that. And then you're stuck with them. You don't want that. So my best thing to do is to try and produce a good show for you that hopefully helps you, whether you're getting into the hobby or you're somebody who is interested in something different for your ham shack. Okay. Let me go back here. Fred, Larry, I have my contour at plus 10 sitting on 1600 hertz. Seems to lift weak signals. That's correct. 10 width. Likewise, I've seen guys use a 10 to 20 around 500 hertz. Yeah, the contour is probably, look, I love DNR, but on the Yaseu rigs, at least on the 10 and the 101s, I think the contour is essential. It's such a very important thing. And really all it is it's a passband filter. It's what ICOM would call their high pass or low pass filter. That's all it is. So it's the same thing, but a different name. Okay, Fred, thank you. And he's on his 991, the original one, not the A. Good work. Yep, Ward, thank you again. You got a good one. Time to turn off the dogs. I know, right? Goodness sakes. And see, the thing is, you're stuck there, Thor. Do I mute the mic, do one of these scream out the door, shut up, and then, hopefully they stop, or just continue the show? It's tough sometimes. Again, live, you deal with it, and you live with what you have. This actually took 3 times to cut. Some of you don't know that. There's a few here I noticed that are here that were here last night. I cut a show here first one was at about 12:30 in the morning. Next one's about 10 to 1. The first one we had to get rid of because, again, 80 meters, if you ever want entertainment, right? If you're one of those people that really love entertainment, okay?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, you're going to go to 80 meters at night because the wildest things happen on 80, whether it's language or last night, there was a guy playing music. No joke. And I'm like, great. I've got this guy now on a YouTube feed doing music. Cut the show because I don't want to point people out on YouTube doing something wrong. That would be terrible. I wouldn't want to be that person. So deleted the show, came back with a second one, did it again. And I'm like, I hate this show. It's awful. So I scrapped it and I said, I'm going to get some sleep. So we'll just redo it today. That's what we did. So thank you guys for being here. This is the FTDX 110 and the FTDX 101 together, showing how they work. One more quick little snippet in how they work and how they do it. Okay. And Fred, yeah, late night ham radio. You know, it's the best time to catch shortwave, and it's really good to be able to show what the receivers are. So what we're going to do, we're going to move over to shortwave now so you can hear what the receivers can do, because sometimes these SSB broadcasts go, really fast and you can't hear them. One more comparison and we're going to call it a show. Okay. First on the 101, we're going to go to the 10 because it's already got the speaker hooked up. Okay. And to be fair, I better pull the speaker out of the back so that you don't hear it direct on YouTube. Sorry about that, but to make it fair, we need to do it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold on to the old control cable here, and we'll do that. Just a second, okay? Give me just 1 minute. I'll be right there. Just give me a moment. I think we just hit the dog filter. Okay, so if you could hear what I just said. It was G rated. There we go. Okay, so let's get this turned up. Sorry, turn the filtering off. When you're going to tune for new hams, turn your noise reduction, any DSP products off when you're tuning in first. It'll help you find them, because if you have them tuned in and you can go right by a weak signal and miss it completely. So for new hams or people who would like to get into ham radio, turn off your noise reduction, turn off your bandpass stuff, because you want to hear the pure signal and then work it from there. It's a good tip.
Got you down, limited time. KK6, India, Lima, Victor. Additional check-ins, anyone, anywhere.
Okay, now let's go with the noise reduction so you can hear it work, because this is a good signal. This will help the noise reduction.
Don in Temple City. Good to hear you, Don. Limited time or round table today? Well, thanks much, and appreciate your check-in with 6 Kilo Lima Echo. Additional check-ins, anyone, anywhere.
Okay, so there's the 10. Let me flip over to the 101, same frequency. So we are at 7204 even, and I'll flip the antenna switch, and we'll get you hopefully a different camera angle. And I'm going to kill my dogs here in a moment. It's just a moment. Hang on a second. Let me get this antenna on here, okay?
A6, RKY, great signal out of Atascadero. Additional check-ins, anyone, anywhere.
Okay, that's with the noise reduction off.
WA70.
Now we'll put the noise reduction on. You'll hear it. Okay, so that gives you a good idea. Same signal, same thing. It's really similar. It's the same thing. And, the thing that I want to share with you here is that it could be any radio. It could be a 7300. It could be a 7610. It could be a 590. It could be a K4. It could be, name the radio, okay? It's just a different way to work it. However, it does show how very similar these two radios are and why they work so well together. Do you want a SDR in a small box that can go with you on the road that's pretty light? The 10 weighs like 10 pounds. It's not heavy. The FTDX 101 is huge, weighs about 25 pounds. It's pretty hefty, okay? So you get the same performance with the receiver in the 101 that you get in the 10. So the 10 is the same quality, okay, in a smaller package. Just be prepared to use menus and know that there's that 3 seconds of time. If you're going to press that button to change frequencies, you better make your choice quick, because if you don't, it's gone. Okay? That's it. Any other questions regarding these two transceivers? They're both very good and they both do well. But again, there's, you know what? I still want a Kenwood 890. Someday, God willing, it will happen. Okay. Nikolai, thank you. That's very kind. Thank you. Yeah, it's worth it because, you know, there's so much to show here. There had to be different angles. I wish I could do one more camera. I really do. Jonathan Powers, hello from Michigan. Jonathan, welcome to the show. It's nice to have you. Wow. My first HF radio, the FTDX 10, should be here tomorrow, but my antenna isn't shipped yet. Okay. First of all, Jonathan, congratulations on ham radio, man. Good job. Proud of you, bud. Nice. Great transceiver choice. I think you'll like it. Read the book. Read the instructions. Seriously. Sit there with the radio without it on the air and learn. Well, you don't have an antenna hooked up, obviously, because you're going to listen to it. Learn how the buttons work. Learn how the controls work. That's important for all hams to know. Take a look at that instruction book and read it, because you'll learn how to use your radio better. So when you get that rare DX call and you're hearing it from a place far away, you know which button to go to and how to adjust it. A little more menu driven on the 10, so keep that in mind, okay? Nikolai, last night on 80, there was some hams from UK, Italy, Canada, US talking about COVID and vaccines. Yeah, well, there's a lot of talk right now about that all over the world, and we are hopefully going to be clearing this thing out soon. Thank you, Russ. You're very kind. That means a lot. Russ, thank you. I'm sincere. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very thoughtful to say something like that. And Nikolai, that is an understatement. 80-meter band is really interesting at night.
Go!
Yes, you're right. And almost bought the 890, but opted for the 101. No regrets. You know, I could have either one and be really happy. It's just a different way to operate it. I really like the 890, and I hope someday, Lord willing, we'll have one. I just love the screen. I love the adjustability of it. It's just a great super heterodyne radio. Kenwood sounds beautiful too. They're speakers in all ham radios, whether they be Elecraft or, you know, ICOM, Yaseu, whatever. Kenwood has the best sound. They're just, you can hear the qualities there. All right, folks, we're going to wrap the show in a bow. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. This has been the Yaesu FTDX 101 and the Yaesu FTDX 10, showing the similarities of the two, that you can't go wrong with either transceiver. Do you want big controls of everything? Go with the 101. You'll get 59 buttons and 9 knobs. Do you want space, small, light, easy to carry with you, but still powerful with a very poppy screen? I mean, I'll tell you, the FTDX 10, in my opinion, has a better screen than the FTDX 101. That is one upgrade the 10 has. The 10 screen has more contrast to it. It just pops. So there you go. Save a lot of money, but do you need 2 receivers? Okay. Plus, keep in mind, the FTDX 10 has only one SO239 on the back. That means one antenna input, and there's no RX out for this anywhere. You cannot hook up an RX antenna to the FTDX 10. All right, until tomorrow, everybody, have a wonderful Tuesday. God bless you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and it is my honor to host this show. Please subscribe. I don't monetize here. I don't make money. You don't see a tip jar. I don't sell things. I just do it to give back. You can help give back to me by hitting subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Larry. My call sign is Kilo 7 Hotel November, and it's been my honor and privilege to spend time with you today. Goodbye, everybody.
Join us again tomorrow night for Ernie Kovacs and Take a Look, right after WINC Late News. WINC, a subscriber to the TV Code of National Association of Broadcasters, welcomes your comments and criticisms. Write anytime to Better TV, WINC, Southern City, Kentucky. And to see Better TV, watch WINC, your television code station. WINC is concluding telecasting activities for the day. WINC is owned and operated by Southern City Broadcast Corporation, a subsidiary of Williams Enterprises. Transmitters on Williams Mountain and Burroughs Borough. Our studios and offices are located in the West Building in Southern City, Kentucky. We operate on VHF Channel 10 and UHF Channel 19 by authority of the Federal Communications Commission. This time WINC now signs off the air. Thank you for viewing and have a pleasant good night.
I want to say one more thing. This sign-off segment is iconic and classic. I hope you enjoy it. Goodbye, everybody from Oregon, and have a good day.
Oh, I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.